we're going to start from chapter 35 on page 58, 59, 61, 361.
351.
Chapter 35. We already read the first 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm going to start over again, though, since it's been 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Shu kudoku nyu wa shichikisha sokai ken gashin zai shini seipo wakuji ishi shu setsubutsu jumuryo kunai ken busha I setsubutsu nanshi. But those who practice meritorious ways, who are gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright, all of them will see me here in person, preaching the law. At times for this multitude, I describe the Buddha's lifespan as immeasurable, and to those who see the Buddha only after a long time, I explain how difficult it is to meet a Buddha. The passage we studied earlier describes how human beings, befuddled with illusion, see the world around them as filled with suffering and engulfed in an all-consuming fire. The above passage teaches that by steadfastly maintaining honest and upright faith, we can receive the great benefit of the mystic law. It indicates that those who've accumulated benefit and who are gentle, peaceful, and honest can see the Buddha expounding the law for people's happiness. Gentle and peaceful mean possessing an open mind free of all obstinacy or narrow-mindedness. This is not only by any means to say weak-willed. It is the spirit to see the truth exactly as it is without being swayed by prejudice, bias, appearance, and the like. Honest and upright, as these words suggest, mean an attitude of directly approaching and seeking out that which is good and great. Did everybody understand that paragraph?
Yes, we said it.
Yeah, we did last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago. The eternal Buddha is visible to those who are gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright. Now, what is that saying there? Basically, our faith is the means by which this is achieved. That's the thing that opens that door. All right? The eternal Buddha is visible to those who are gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright. The Buddha's life is eternal and indestructible. Those whose minds are gentle, peaceful, and upright can continuously live with a sense of absolute peace of mind in being together with the Buddha. And those who are always with the Buddha will be liberated from loneliness and impatience, anxiety, and despair. They can abide in a state of eternal happiness. Now, what's that also mean? It's talking about the fact that we fuse with the Gohonzon every day when we chant Daimoku, right? When we embrace the Gohonzon. That's also what this is speaking to. For us, gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright refers to our attitude in faith in the Gohonzon. From a literal standpoint, to practice meritorious ways means to accumulate benefit by carrying out various Buddhist practices. But our practice is none other than the practice of chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo to the Gohonzon for ourselves and others. Everybody understands that as well, right?
Yes.
Okay? Nichiren says that, you're with us? Nichiren says that the 5 characters of Myoho Renge-kyo, the heart of the essential teaching of the Lotus Sutra, contain the benefit amassed through the countless practices and meritorious deeds of all Buddhas throughout the 3 existences. There is no separation between any of those actions and the actions of you as the Buddha. All right? Chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo confers the ultimate benefit and is the wellspring of all benefit. Accordingly, this sutra passage teaches that we should always chant the mystic law with a pure and earnest seeking mind toward the Gohonzon. When we possess such sincere faith, a life state identical to that of the eternal Buddha manifests within us. An open and upright mind connects us directly with the life of the Buddha. Everybody understood that paragraph?
Yes.
Yes? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, in the above passage, this is explained by the lines, all of them will see me here in person preaching the law. The Buddha is always here preaching the law. In other words, at all times we can live embraced by the Buddha's compassion and in perfect accord with the Buddha's wisdom.
Yes.
Everybody's with me on that, right?
Yes.
We've gone through we already read all this. When we base ourselves on the great conviction that we are always together with the Gohonzon, that we are always together with the Daishonin, we are fearless. When something happens, we calmly challenge the situation, fully exercising our wisdom, and all the while chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo. By doing so, we cannot fail to be protected. We are certain to realize a life of victory. Everybody's with me still, right? Also, all of them will see me here in person indicates the principle of the mutual possession of the 10,000 worlds and 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. The beings of the 9 worlds perceive and are embraced by the world of Buddhahood. That is, the 9 worlds are endowed with the world of Buddhahood, and the world of Buddhahood is endowed with the 9 worlds.
Yes.
Everybody's with me, right?
Yes.
Okay. In the record of the orally transmitted teachings, Nichiren says, the revelations in this lifespan chapter make clear that all of them will see me. That is, they make clear the principle of 3,000 realms in a single moment of life. Now Nichiren and his followers who chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo are the very persons referred to here. Everybody understands why that's the case? Yes?
Yes.
All right, all of them will see me. All of them will see the eternal Buddha nature that exists in all things, right? That's part of their Buddhahood. Certainly, SGI members are carrying out gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright faith, just as the Daishonin teaches. The SGI is a gathering of those who practice meritorious ways, who are gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright. It is a body dedicated to accomplishing the Buddha's will and decree, whose members honestly put the Buddha's spirit into practice. This is the real significance of the SGI. Those whose members honestly put the Buddha's spirit into practice. All right? That's the key. That's the key. The SGI, therefore, abounds with the power of the mystic law and the strength of justice. Nichiren says, when the Lion King roars, 100 cubs will then feel emboldened. Nam-myoho Renge-kyo is the lion's roar. We are a gathering of lions. Our benefits from exerting ourselves for Kosen Rufu are immense. Our efforts are definitely known to the Gohonzon. As long as we possess the roar of the lion, the SGI is certain to prosper and develop eternally. Everybody understands, right?
Yes.
The next part reads, at times for this multitude, I describe the Buddha's lifespan as immeasurable, and to those who see the Buddha only after a long time, I explain how difficult it is to meet the Buddha. This reveals the Buddha's immense wisdom to save people on the most fundamental level. From the standpoint of Nichiren Buddhism, it indicates the great power of the Gohonzon. President Toda said, when we read this passage with a clear understanding, we develop great confidence in our own lives. To those who are gentle, peaceful, and upright, Shakyamuni reveals that the Buddha's life is infinite. To those who see the Buddha only after much time has elapsed, he teaches that the Buddha is difficult to meet. The Buddha always exists, but he is rarely encountered. While seemingly contradictory, this is the main theme of the verse section of the lifespan, as I've previously noted. And so what's he really referring to is the fact that this state is always in play, but it's very rarely perceived. Okay? It's always there, but it's very rarely perceived. All right? If Shakyamuni were to say only that the Buddha always exists, then people would come to depend entirely on the Buddha. Such an outcome is inconsistent with Buddhism, because again, they'd all be looking at the Buddha rather than realizing that they themselves are also the Buddha.
Yeah.
All right? Such an outcome is inconsistent with Buddhism, whose purpose is to enable all people to become Buddhists, okay? To not be reliant on some entity or some influence or some wisdom outside of themselves, to cultivate those aspects within their own life. The Buddha wants people to become self-reliant. He wants them to develop the state of Buddhahood in their own lives. He wants them to be Buddhas themselves. This is the Buddha's wish. And so the ultimate expedient means, the Buddha appears to enter extinction. He thereby causes people to sense that the Buddha is difficult to encounter and arouses in them a seeking mind. It's through that seeking mind that they're able to perceive the fact that they themselves are the Buddha. We can achieve absolute happiness only when we perceive the eternal nature of our lives. And this sutra passage reveals the Buddha's skillful and wise way of preaching toward that end. It remains theory if we say that only the Buddha's life is eternal. Everybody understand? From the standpoint of Nichiren Buddhism, all of our lives are eternal and inseparable. Understand?
Yes.
Okay. The important thing is that we, right now, in our present lives, become profoundly aware of this. As you've already discussed, you're in the process of revealing to yourself in your own specific, unique manner. And to lead all people of the latter day of the law to enlightenment, Nichiren manifested his own eternal life in the form of the Gohonzon. From the standpoint of his teaching, this is the meaning of, I describe the Buddha's lifespan as immeasurable. With gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright faith, we embrace the Gohonzon as the manifestation of the Daishonin's supreme life. Do we understand what he just said? As the manifestation of the Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, thus come one. Okay, Nichiren is a transient identity in the truth of the reality of what the Gohonzon is. Do you understand? So let me, with gentle, peaceful, honest, and upright faith, we embrace the Gohonzon as the manifestation of the Daishonin's supreme life. When we possess such faith, such a seeking spirit, we can see the Gohonzon, the life of the Daishonin, in our own lives, because there's no separation between our life and the life of Nichiren, or our life and any other life. Do you understand? It's not something spooky, supernatural about Nichiren's life that makes it one and the same with our own. Do you understand? There's no conflict there. And we can see profoundly, profoundly sense the eternal and indestructible benefit we possess, because we discover and identify and perceive the true nature of our own life. Unless we arouse a heart of faith, we cannot truly see the Gohonzon. Why? Because faith is the only means of achieving that wisdom. Okay? The only means of achieving that wisdom. This is the implicit meaning of the statement I explain how difficult it is to meet the Buddha. All right? Understood? The implicit meaning. President Toda explained, we are taught that our lives are eternal, but when we truly understand the meaning of eternal, we realize that our present existence in this world is what is important. We must not waste our lives. That's why we chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo and carry out the practice of propagation. We don't rely on the fact that we're eternal.
Right.
The manifest body is called the manifest body for a reason. It has a job to do.
Right now.
It's associated with the Dharma body and the reward body. It has a job to do. It has a function. It has a purpose. It has a karmic relationship with this moment. That's why it exists. Because our lives are eternal, the present moment is precious. Neglecting this existence means neglecting our lives eternally. It is always our actions from this moment on that matter most. Steve knows that. Our lives are eternal, endowed with indelible nobility, as is the life of the Buddha, because they're inseparable. The 10 worlds all exist in our lives and minds at each moment. We have infinite potential. This is the fundamental spirit of Buddhism, which places high value on the present and is the basis for the idea of life's sanctity as human beings. What time is it?
8:54.
Okay. This is so short I can just about pull that off. Chapter 36, page 367. Gachi riki nyoze eko sho muryo jumyo mushu koku shugo sho tokonyoto uchi shamoto shishogi todanryo yojin kuzugo jipuko. The Romaji translates as, such is the power of my wisdom that its sagacious beams shine without measure. This lifespan of countless kalpas I gained as the result of lengthy practice. You who are possessed of wisdom, entertain no doubts on this point. Cast them off and in them forever, for the Buddha's words are true, not false. This passage describes the Buddha's boundless wisdom that, like the springtime sunshine, rejuvenates and nourishes all life. Spring causes a full-fledged explosion of life, of beautiful flowers and fresh young leaves, which, bathed in bright sunlight, display such unreserved vibrancy that they seem to be vying to outdo one another. In the same way, the buds of Buddhahood in the lives of all people are illuminated and nourished by the great light of the Buddha's wisdom. As in the previous section, such is the power of my wisdom describes how the Buddha uses his wisdom to skillfully lead people to attain Buddhahood by sometimes preaching the truth and sometimes employing expedient means. The Buddha's wisdom is limitless, and therefore its sagacious beams shine without measure. The light of the Buddha's wisdom, it dispels the darkness in the lives of countless people, the darkness in the world. The great light of the benefit of the Gohonzon shines throughout the universe and upon all people eternally, transcending life and death. Does everybody understand what that says, though? What does that mean? The Buddha's wisdom is limitless, and therefore its sagacious beams shine without measure. The light of the Buddha's wisdom dispels the darkness in the lives of countless people, the darkness in the world. The great light of the benefit of the Gohonzon shines throughout the universe and upon all people eternally, transcending life and death. This is your original state. Okay? This is the aspect of your life, time after time after time. Transmigration after transmigration after transmigration. Do you understand? There is no separation between your life and this truth. All right? This lifespan of countless kalpas refers to the Buddha's eternal life, which is the source of the Buddha nature that we possess. The original teacher's attainment is the attainment for all. The lifespan of infinite wisdom and compassion is eternal. That makes sense, right? The Buddha nature is eternal, then the lifespan the Buddha's life of infinite wisdom and compassion is eternal, right?
Right.
The Buddha's great wish is for all people to possess the light of this wisdom and recognize the infinite lifespan of their lives. What is that? To attain Buddhahood. If you can perceive this wisdom, you're the Buddha. Right? If you perceive this wisdom, you perceive your life is eternal and the life of all things is eternal, correct? Right. Daily we encourage people to become happy and to do so through their own efforts, because that's the only way they can truly accomplish that. Every person is difficult.
Yes.
Isn't that the truth?
Yes.
Pardon me. Every person is different, which is why they're difficult.
Of course.
Every person is different. Life is complicated. Okay, but again, what is he stating here? Don't look for a cookie cutter reality to all of this. Don't look for another one of you. There isn't another one of you. Okay? Don't look for a simple solution that fits all size, one size fits all. It's going to be a custom fit based on dependent origination. It's going to be a custom fit based on the karma of the individual specifically involved. Do you understand? It's not by chance. None of this is by chance. Let me read it again. Every person is different. Life is complicated. We worry about how to encourage everyone in light of his or her own unique circumstances. Making strenuous efforts each day, we continue giving people courage and hope. Nothing is more praiseworthy. We can lead truly noble and wonderful lives. Each day, we manifest boundless wisdom and illuminate the lives of friends with the light of hope. Your very life can become a source of hope to others, regardless of the specific thing that they're challenged by. The fact that you've overcome the challenges that you've been confronted with is a source of encouragement and hope to others that are facing challenges that may be completely different.
Right.
It's important to see examples of victory. That's the function and purpose of our life.
Right.
Okay? So, in this sense, The passage is sagacious, beams shine without measure. This lifespan of countless kalpas refers to us, professors of humanity, who illuminate a confused society with our sun-like life states, our unique natures,
Right.
our unique experiences, our unique expressions of wisdom, all right, that are absolutely unique to us, because based on dependent origination, we're going to be the ones to state those things to the people that need to hear those things. Do you understand? All right. So these lines also express the noble function of the lives of all SGI members who have received great life force from the Gohonzon, are continuously working to bring people happiness. The Buddha's words are true, not false. This is the last page. The Buddha's limitless life was gained as a result of lengthy practice. This corresponds to the passage in the earlier prose section. Originally, I practiced the Bodhisattva way, and the lifespan that I acquired then has yet to even go burn through half of it. But as President Toda said, in terms of the implicit meaning, it is not something that was attained as a result of practicing for a long time, but something originally possessed and eternal, something innate in life. Everybody understands? That's Kuan, right? Versus Goyakujin Tingo. In other words, each of us originally possesses a life identical to the eternal Buddhas. It's not something that we went out and practiced and attained as a result of some effort. It was already our original state. Do you understand?
Yes.
There's nothing we have to add to ourselves in order to bring forth that original state. There's nothing that we have to accomplish in order to have validated that original state. That's there regardless of the individual, regardless of their circumstance. As a human being, their original state is identical to that of the eternal Buddha, the original teacher. Shakyamuni further proclaims, you who are possessed of wisdom, entertain no doubts on this point. Cast them off in them forever, for the Buddha's words are true, not false. He is saying we should be confident that the Buddha's eternal and undying life exists within us. We should be confident. That should be a point of faith.
Yes.
That should not be a question in our mind. That should not be a reservation. Okay? Everybody understands?
Yes.
That's very fundamentally important. The absence of that is the thing that leads you to the opportunity to be able to perceive your true identity. You must entertain no doubts on this point. These are strong words, the words of someone speaking wholly in earnest. They are vigorous. They are spoken out of great compassion. They are spoken not out of, believe me because I'm the boss and I know better than you. They're spoken out of, please, this is the only if you understand and believe what I'm telling you now, can you enter the door of the wisdom that I've just opened by being here in front of you. Do you understand? That's why he's saying this, you make no doubt, you must understand this point. It is faith that will allow you to achieve this state and nothing else. Otherwise, it's theoretical.
Right.
You must entertain no doubts on this point, exclamation mark. These are strong words, the words of someone speaking wholly in earnest. They are vigorous. At the same time, they overflow with compassion because they're nothing but the truth, no matter how difficult it may be to perceive. The Buddha is a person without falsehood, a person of truth, and his true disciples are honest and upright. The Buddha is upright. He is earnest. Disciples who follow the Buddha directly, uprightly, and without any distortion or hesitation can manifest the Buddha's boundless wisdom and life force as their own. There is absolutely no doubt about this. So the Buddha assures us with this in this passage how truly fortunate we are. And we'll begin with chapter 37 next week on page 371.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.